Hi, welcome to the Craft Channel. My name's Corinne Brad, and today I want to show you how simple it is to make quite an effective display card that you can pop up on a mantelpiece. It's got all kinds of different angles. There's lots of scope for you to add embellishments, and the beauty of it is even though it looks like the most 3D card you've ever seen, it will fold flat so that you can post it, which is always a bonus because you can't always guarantee that you're going to see someone to send their card to them. The only thing you really have to watch is the size of your envelope, because if you are going to pop embellishments and pop-outs like this, you need to make sure that your envelope is long enough, or in this case wide enough, to accommodate them. But other than that, the world is your oyster. So let's just pop them there, and I'll show you how to start. Now I'm going to start with a piece of lilac A4 card, and I'm going to cut this down to make a 210mm square. Okay. And then if you grab a scoreboard, or if you don't have a scoreboard, you can purely just line this up on your gridded cutting mat, and you need to score down the middle and across the middle at 10.5 centimetres, and make sure your score lines are easily creasable by scoring it on one side, flipping it over and scoring it on the other to really indent that. And while you've got one of your score lines facing upwards, you just grab a scalpel and ruler, and what you want to do is you want to cut from the middle of your piece of card to one edge. And then just move that ruler slightly towards you and cut again. So you're actually cutting a 1mm channel out of the card. And then just fold everything like so. And then with the groove towards you, in fact, turn it around, with the groove away from you, what you also want to do is just score diagonally across the two uncut corners, or the uncut side of the card, and then fold them back. Now I've seen other cards like this, because what you now do is you bring this in like so that it stands up three-dimensionally. But what I've found is invariably it's going to open up. To stop that happening, cut from the excess card that you've got left over, cut a 1 centimetre strip of card, put it on your cutting mat and fold one side down at 90 degrees. Put your fingernail on there, fold this side again at 90 degrees. So you make an arrowhead. You don't need to score this, you can just rub it down with your thumbnail. Trim both those pieces to about the same size, And if you pop a bit of glue on both of them, but avoiding that triangle in the middle, because you need that triangle to act almost like a photo corner. And pop it over either corner really, whichever corner is going to be your top corner. Don't pop it over it, pop it under it. So the photo corner is on the underside and these long ends are on the top, which you might think is ridiculous because, you know, why are you going to have those raw ends on the top? Well, it's because you're going to cover them up in a minute. But on the back there, you've just got that little photo corner so that when you fold your card up, you can pop that in there and it stays closed up. So then just to decorate your card, I'm going to grab some nice papers. Let's go for this unicorn stuff. Another thing that I found really handy actually when you're cutting panels of card to fit, especially if you've got an old cutting mat and if like me you've used it so often half of the numbers have worn off, if you can get yourself one of these, they're quilter's rules. This is a metric quilter's rule and you can just line up your edges with the straight edges on here. I'm going to do this at 10 centimetres because I want a small border around it. And you can cut your panels so much more easily to stick them on the card. And when you stick them on, you are now obviously covering up most of those tails of your photo corner. Oh. So let's grab another 10 centimetre square of card. You can see the way that I'm working at the minute. This is how I work at home. Everything is just everywhere. And it's great because you can never find anything. And we'll cut this diagonally because this is going to be used for one of the triangular sections at the top of your card. Oh. And we'll just find another sharply contrasting piece of paper. What I would suggest, if you're doing the triangular bits, to save on paper is find a print that doesn't have a definite direction to it. It would be no good using this unicorn paper because if I then cut it diagonally, when I went to stick it on the card, half of the unicorns will be upside down and it would just look weird. So if you choose something that's an overall floral print or something like this star pattern that can be either way up, just saves paper. And it's all about being economical with your card making. So we will glue these pieces on. Oh, it's quite a nice geometric design on the back of that. I'd forgotten I got that one. And that's the nice thing about a lot of these scrapbook paper collections. I mean, I love the idea of scrapbooking all my photographs and memories. Realistically, I don't have the time to do it. And I've got lots of scrapbooking paper, which is beautiful. But when it's double-sided, it 9 times out of 10 it means that, you know, there's always a pattern that you like that you'll make, you know, you'll use as a card making project. So that's now the base of your card. And then we're just going to add to that. Ooh, let's just move a few things around. You'll find quite a lot of scrapbook collections have journaling cards on them. Just going to cut this a bit smaller than it needs to be, or that it's been printed. Oh. Making that big mistake of putting my ruler on the narrowest piece of card and hoping that it's going to work. Let's just map this onto the offcut of card from your blank. To leave a narrow border around 3 edges and then quite a wide border at the bottom. I'll show you why in a minute. And then rather than cut that wide border off at the bottom, just use the other end of your scalpel or a scoring tool and just make a mark. So you can fold this up and glue it to make a little pop-up anywhere on your card, really. Just double check the angle as you do that by laying your card flat. In an ideal world, you don't want that top corner to encroach on that centerfold, because if you can do that, it then means you can fold that card up flat and you can just get it in a normal A6 envelope. If it goes too far over this way, you'll need to get a much bigger envelope. But that's really about the only rules you need to apply to the way you decorate this card, because with all the other pieces, such as pieces like this, or actually I've got some nicer ones here somewhere. And there's nothing stopping you matting some of these little embellishments onto darker colours of the card to add a bit of contrast. I quite like actually using these dark colours of card. For a long time it seemed that everything was a bit pink and fluffy, and now it's quite refreshing to see navies and blacks in card making. As you see, I've just put a bit of glue on the bottom corner of that so it's only stuck to 1/2. And I'm going to put a bit of glue just on 1/2 of this. Put it on at an angle. put it on at a random angle. Yeah, let's put it like that. I don't want to cover up that nice flower. And then just assemble it, tuck it in that holding tab at the back, and bend your pieces backwards. See, that was a ridiculous angle to put it on there. But while the glue is still wet, I can just move it so it doesn't interfere with the pop-up. So there you go. Very easy and actually quite an effective display card. And you would, of course, just write your greeting on the back of this. And there's nothing stopping you adding extra elements, you know, such as cut out flowers, tags, ribbons in it, anything you like. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you can make a successful display card like this. And it's one of those things, the addition of that little tab, that little photo corner at the bottom, means that the card is a lot more successful, so that when you give it to someone, they can actually display it without not knowing how on earth to keep it together. Have fun, use up some of your random scrapbooking supplies that you've got laying around the house, and make someone a greeting for a new home or a birthday, or just because you care. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again very soon. If you've been inspired to create, please share your makes with us in the comments section below. And if you've enjoyed videos by the Crafts channel, hit the like button. Want to see more of us? Then click subscribe. See you next time.